Hi everyone, it's a little check-in today. Yesterday I was invited to go check out some really nice backyard trails. Some local guys here in Phoenix have built over the years. Really amazing spot, really good riders, really big jumps. It was fun. I ended up taking a spill and hurt my shoulder a little bit, so luckily I'm almost done with the project here. All I have left to do is put the gutters up here on the roof. So we can get Adam to help me with that a little bit, hold them up there, and then spread all the wood chips around the whole yard. So I've got somebody coming tomorrow to dump off about 14 yards of wood chips, and we'll get everybody to help and spread them out and have like a mulching party. As well, I came in here, I put this extra piece of wood on top of the gate to finish that off, and I reburied that box over there. So it's a little bit above grade, but the wood chips are going to come right up to it that we're going to put in this path here. So just a quick update today. I'm going to get back to work on the rest of this tomorrow. Oh yeah, I tried to finish doing the screws into the wall over here to put up the trellises for these grapevines, but my drill just broke. So a little crappy Ryobi drill I've had for a couple years finally gave up the ghost, so I have to borrow a drill and finish that off, but I'll get that done tomorrow. There's a little bit. Keep going. Alright, so today is the day. As you can see behind me here, I just got about 14 yards of mulch dropped off from a tree trimming company. Normally when you get free mulch from these tree companies, I mean they have to pay to dump it at the green waste facility, so they'd rather dump it in your driveway for free. But usually you gotta wait until they're working in your area. So I had another company lined up, but they couldn't do it for another week or two. They weren't working in Chandler yet, so I actually thankfully found another company that would dump it next day if you paid them. So paid $50 for 14 yards of mulch, which is a pretty good deal considering if I bought it from the landscape supply, it's about $25 a yard, and plus delivery fee. So that's a pretty good deal, I think. So we got quite a bit of mulch. This is 14 yards approximately. It's a mix of a bunch of different trees: olives, citrus, mesquite, palo verde, basically everything that you see on the street right here. It's from a tree trimming company doing their spring trimming. So it's actually just about enough to cover the backyard. There's about 1,500 square feet that needs to be covered back there, and each yard will cover about 100 square feet, about 3 inches deep. So it's just about enough. Now comes the big job of wheelbarrowing it all through that gate into the backyard. So I'm going to start by myself, and then Adam's going to get home from work and help me out with the rest of this. It might be a 2-day job, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to get started. Whew, that was quite a lot of work to move all that. So Adam and my Uncle Alan just got here to help out, so that's good. Managed to get about almost half of it done just by myself with the wheelbarrow. I'm going to start filling in over here now, get that basin nice and deep, and then finish off with the front of the patio area here. There's some chips in the kind of back of that load. It's a little nicer, so we're going to spread those out here where the kids are going to play. Look at all that mulch. We spent worked out pretty late last night getting all this mulch back here. Just one wheelbarrow load at a time. It was quite a bit, so I'm really happy with how that went. Actually made my shoulder feel a little bit better, which is nice. But now I got to come back in here and smooth all this out. Get some of this mulch put inside these cages to help mulch these trees. And, spread it all around basically. It's a bit rough right now. And try to smooth it out, and it will start to kind of pack down and settle over time. It's quite a bit, but it's good. All this organic matter is basically what we're doing, is putting a bunch of organic matter on the dirt, and over time that'll start composting really in place and turning into really nice rich soil, especially over here in this pit. The mulch is going to be a lot thicker over here, and by the time all that breaks down, it's going to turn into some really nice rich soil, and the roots from these trees will expand out and be fed by that over the years too. Another big benefit of having all this mulch over the soil is it's like a big blanket that's just going to hold water in the soil, keep it from evaporating off in the heat of summer here. It's already getting up to be 90s, might be 95 by Friday, Saturday. So it's good timing to get all this in here. It's a lot of work, but this is going to be really effective. I'm almost done with this project. Got to get this mulch all smoothed out, and I get to work on the gutters up here, and that's pretty much it. So I'm really excited how this is turning out, and I'm excited to see how it grows in the future. Alright, so there it is. Got all the mulch spread out, smoothed out. Try to get it as smooth as I could. This area here where the kids are going to play. I got it all spread out. It's pretty deep here in the pits. You see, I can dig down in here. Yeah, so I'd say this is probably about 8 inches deep right here at the bottom of this pit, which is going to keep all that water that we collect off the roof from the gutter. It's going to help keep that in the ground here. And I'm going to take the hose, I think, and kind of soak all this and let it compress a little bit, because it will settle down, especially after a big rain. And pretty much immediately it's going to start breaking down into soil, because it's all freshly cut, lots of nitrogen in there. It's going to just pretty much compost in place. So it was a big job, but I'm really glad that we did this. It's a little bit different than a lot of landscaping. They try to get rid of as much organic matter as they can, it seems, and clean everything up, but it's not really how nature works. She likes to put organic matter on the ground and turn it into soil. That's really what it's all about. So we're trying to really kickstart that back here, and I think it's going to work pretty well. Hi guys, back here in the backyard again. This is likely going to be my last day here on the project. I'll be taking off from Phoenix next day or two. I might be back in a week or so to check on it, depending on my travels, but I just want to give a little update and a check-in on how everything's doing at this point in the game. So these plants over here we'll start with. This is one of the grapevines. It was a little slow to start, but as you can see now it's starting to put on those leaves, looking pretty good. These strawberries have taken hold, as well as the artichoke over there. A little herb bed we got going on here. These guys are all doing pretty good. Just gonna have to get some growth so they can poke their way above the mulch. That's one of the problems with the Jeep mulch, is that you can bury your plants after you install them, so you gotta be a little careful. Over here we have the goji berry, and it's starting to put on leaves real quick. It started really small, just a couple little leaves, but now it's definitely starting to fill out. It's good to see. This little salvia plant's doing real good. And then some of the plants we planted over here. This is a mulberry bush. It's taken off. It's already put on a few inches of growth. Lots of leaves. This grapevine's doing really well. We gotta wait until these leaders here. I want these to grow tall enough to reach this wire up here, and then we can train those down the wall. But it seems to be doing pretty good. This here moringa tree I planted, it lost its initial leaves, but now looks like it's putting on new ones, so it's good to see. Hopefully that'll take off in the next few weeks. Start getting some height on it. This moringa I planted here so that it will eventually shade this part of the backyard over here where these trees are in the afternoon, to help keep them sheltered while they're young and not susceptible to being burned. So speaking of that, we got this tangelo. It's already putting on some new leaves, as you can see right here. Seems to be doing good. Peach is doing really well. Got tons of leaves coming out of it right now. That was just planted from a bare root, so it's really good to see that. This is our lemon. Seems to be doing good, healthy. It's got some nice fresh new leaves on it right there. And our pomegranate is doing really well. It's pushed out quite a bit from how big it was when we planted it. So that's really good to see. Some of the various other plants I planted around are doing alright too. What I did is I got this, this is a moisture meter. And I've been checking around in all these beds and all these plants, and pretty much everything is wet right now. And so I think what I'm going to do is turn down the water regimen. I think these plants are getting pretty well established, so they're past that phase where they're in danger of drying out. And now I don't want to soak their roots. I don't want them to just be sitting in that water. So I'm going to adjust the timer right here and adjust the watering schedule so they don't get watered as much. Might as well check on the garden while we're here. Garden's doing really well. See here some of those onions that we planted. Those are all starting to sprout up through here, as well as some of the seeds that we planted in the back. Yeah, it all seems to be taking hold pretty good. I put a little bit of extra wood chips back here so that once all the seeds emerge from this garden and the plant's starting getting a little bit bigger, we can take some of this wood chip mulch and put it on top of the garden so that it can keep it moist in there during the really hot parts of the summer and help hold that water in. So it's really good to see. You can see that corn, I just noticed that it's starting to take off. It's almost twice as tall as it was. And everything in the back there is looking pretty good too. So, real happy to see that. I feel like this is in a good spot for me to leave it now. Especially with all the mulch here. Definitely going to help keep it safe, keep it wet, and help it get through this first summer, which is going to be the hardest. But there's a couple more things I'm going to do today. I finished installing the gutters up here. I had to get another piece that I had forgotten at the store last night. And then this mulch here that's on the ground, it's a little rougher than I had wanted. And it's also got some sticks in it. So it's got some you can see right here. This is a citrus, and it's actually got thorns on it. So I'm trying to pick out the bigger sticks as I can to make sure there's not thorns in here, because this is where the kids are going to play. But I've also got a few bags of bark mulch, which I'm going to kind of spread out on top of this as a topper to make a nicer surface for the kids to play on. And I'll just kind of be in this area, see how far that goes. And it's a different color as well. It's more of a darker brown, so it'll be kind of a contrast and make the yard look a little better. But yeah, I'm going to start on that work right now and then get this all wrapped up. Okay, so I've spread out the bark mulch here in this little circle. I might get another bag or two to make it a little more thick, but I'm going to give it a nice little bit of a softer, less pokey area to play in. The rest of this mulch is going to start breaking down pretty soon too and settling in, so hopefully they can pick out the more pokey sticks as they find them. But I also finished installing the rest of this rain gutter here along this taller part of the roof. just tested it out. It works good. All flows nicely. But a little extra bonus, see that pipe coming down there from the air conditioner. When the air conditioner is running, that is a drain pipe for the condenser, so that drips water the whole time the air conditioning is running. So it's possible that water will make it down and, you know, get into the yard eventually too, instead of just it was just kind of dripping right here on the side of the yard, not really watering anyway. So that's a little extra bonus. So I think that about wraps it up as far as work that needs to be done in the yard right now. So I'm just gonna clean up my mess here and get everything nice and wrapped up, and do one more adjustment to the water timers over there. Alright, so this is my last day here at the project. I did a little bit of work yesterday to finish things off. First off, I got some brown mulch and spread it around in this area here. This mulch that I got from the tree company, it's a little rougher than I would have liked, but you know, it's free, what are you going to do? It's got a lot of sticks in it, a lot of branches, and there are some citrus branches that have thorns on them, so I wanted to make sure that the kids had a little bit of a softer, smoother area to play on in this flat area, so I just got some regular brown mulch. And I did check into the company that makes this, and their colorant is non-toxic, it's organic. I don't like putting weird stuff back here, especially with the kids playing on it. But yeah, I spread that around so they have this nice soft area to play in. I also installed the last of these rain gutters out over that part of the roof as well there. And so now we're going to be able to catch all the water from this whole half of that roof and this entire awning up here. And it's all going to come out of this gutter and into the tree basin here to help water these trees. I've also got over here, I've hooked up another pipe up to this is just something that came off the air conditioner, and it kind of drips the condensate off of the condenser in the air conditioner. I directed that into the pipe, into the channel, and as you can see, the air conditioner is running, and there's a bit of water coming out of here right now. So I don't know how much it's going to add, but that's a flow that we're capturing. There's water from the air conditioner up there. Every air conditioner drips water. You can capture it and direct it to your plants. So we got that. Like I said, all this is mulched really well. Trees are doing good. I got let's see if I can find it. So I got this moisture meter. It's actually a moisture, pH, and light meter combined. I don't know, it's $10 at Lowe's. But I've come and checked the soil moisture here in the pits here, and it's actually still wet. You can see that. Rained, I don't know, must have been 2 weeks ago when I first got back, and I've done some watering on these trees here. So especially with all this mulch on here, I want to make sure that these trees don't just sit in that water, they don't get too wet. So if I actually turn the water off, the irrigation off for these trees, the timer, and I'm going to come back in about a week after I visit some friends in northern Arizona and check on the soil moisture again, see how it's changed, and adjust the watering schedule for these trees from that. That's one of the purposes, one of the functions of the deep mulch, is that it prevents that water from evaporating, so you actually end up having to irrigate much less. So that's pretty good. Last time I irrigated these trees was a couple weeks ago. It's still wet. And I finished putting up these wires. I put these other two little wires here. You can see they kind of make a V up to that. And I've started training these 2 leaders from that vine, so they can just kind of climb up there and follow along that wire. But everything seems to be doing really well. Goji berry over here's got more leaves coming off than it used to. All the plants I transplanted are still alive, still kicking. Some of them got a little buried in the mulch, but they survived coming back. And it's all doing really well. I'm going to get John out here and check out the progress on the garden here. I think he'd like to see that. So Be right back. Have you seen all the stuff that's going, John?
Yeah, I haven't seen the sunflowers yet.
The sunflowers are coming up.
Oh,
See these? These are the onions coming up. There's a bunch of those everywhere.
oh yeah.
And then see how much taller the corn is? This is like twice as tall as when we planted it a few days ago. Tomatoes getting bigger. See, these are our beans. Remember the beans we planted next to the corn? The beans and the squash.
I don't see it.
These guys right here, these are beans.
Oh, what the squash?
The squash we planted over there. I don't think we planted any squash over here.
What are the 4 sisters? Coin, bean, and...
3 sisters. You almost have them.
Oh, what's the third one though?
What were we just talking about?
Coin, beans, and what else though?
Squash.
What's the squash though? I see the
Squash is like zucchini. I'll show you. It's over here.
Wait, so didn't we plant them by the coin?
Well, normally we would, except the squash takes up a lot of room, so we didn't plant it next to it, right next to it. But it's here. These right here. These are squash.
Oh dang! Then we didn't plant the 4.
I think we have other squash over here too. No, we did. They're all in the garden, so they're all next to each other.
The squash might actually grow into the coin.
Oh well, they'll grow. You see these beans over here, John? These ones are really big.
Whoa!
See, those are gonna grow up the corn.
Hey, they're not buried.
No, they come out of the ground because we plant them as seeds and they grow up.
Oh.
So what you guys can do is, like, once all these, see all the other plants that are coming up in the back over there? Those little sprouts. This little guy right here.
Yeah.
You see that?
That's a sunflower, right?
That might be one of, I planted a bunch of seeds back there for the bees, so there's like a bunch of different flower seeds. That might be one of those.
Oh, wait,
a bunch coming up
won't
over
we
there.
have to make this higher because, is this 8 feet tall?
No.
Oh,
But,
then what about the sunflowers?
so when the sunflowers and the corn grow up, see how there's a gap between the wall and the shade cloth up there?
Yeah.
You can just make that gap bigger and let them grow around. They'll grow up that way.
Oh.
But you need to keep this over here because otherwise it'll get too hot and I'll burn everything this summer. Yeah?
Look at that, it's like doing a dance. Like.
Yeah, it's moving. But what I was saying is once these plants get like a little bigger,
Yeah.
it's where you're not going to like drown everything. You can take this wood chips on the path and just cover up the soil on the garden here, and that'll help keep it growing better. It'll help keep the water in there.
What about the
Bless
coin?
you.
Shouldn't we do it on the coin?
Yeah, you do it all over. I just don't want to do it right now because like we don't want to like bury that under wood chips right now.
Okay. So when they get about this tall, you do it?
That's a little taller, about this tall. About these guys right here.
Okay.
So like this guy right now, I could take this and just kind of, just cover around it, and that'll help. That'll help it grow.
Like an A kind of thing.
Like a what?
A kind of thing.
A?
Yeah.
Oh, like the letter A?
Ah, Lucas, don't push me.
You see these right here, John?
What is that?
Look at these. See that?
Yeah.
Those little mushrooms. They're in there. It's good.
So that's why
That's just probably from something that was in the soil to begin with. Just when you're making compost, fungus happens. It's part of the composting process. So that's a really good sign because fungus helps feed the plants. It helps put nutrients to the plant's roots. But yeah, it's all doing really good. So there we go. That's it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video journal of this project. I've certainly had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm really excited to see how it grows into the future, to watch these trees grow, and hopefully at some point be able to pick fruit with my little cousins. That'd be really nice. So I'm going to come back and do another video, just kind of an overview of this project in about a week. But for now, that's it for this. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you want to support what I'm doing with these videos and my mission to teach permaculture, I can always go out to patreon.com/JesseGrimes and become a patron. So thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe. I'll see you next time.